Good morning, guys. This is Diane. I'm with Powerful Coaching Questions, and I'm here to talk to you today about self-conscious emotions. So self-conscious emotions would be things like shame, guilt, humiliation, embarrassment. Those are the four big self-conscious emotions. Now, Brené Brown does a lot of work on this. She talks a lot about these emotions. I am just going to kind of skim over the top of them because there's a lot of information on these. But somebody requested information about guilt. So I want to kind of address that. So the four big ones are the ones I just listed. The two I'm going to spend the most time on are shame and guilt. So guilt is I did something bad. Shame is I am bad. Humiliation is a lot like shame, but humiliation, we feel like we didn't deserve it. And so we would tell someone. The problem with shame is we feel like I am bad, so therefore I deserved it, and we're not likely to tell someone if something happens to us. So as you can start to see already, shame is very dangerous. If something happens to us and we believe we are the reason, we are the problem, we're not likely to tell anyone. And then it sits in us and it eats at us. So shame is what I'm going to focus on today, shame and guilt. So guilt is I did something bad. And actually, guilt is good. It's a motivator. If I did something bad, then I realize I should apologize for it, number one. Number two, I'm likely to not do it again. I want to change that behavior because I feel guilty for that behavior. But shame actually increases behavior because we feel like we are the problem. I'm bad, therefore I'm the problem. Therefore, I continue to do that behavior because I've identified that I'm the problem. So I'm going to give you a little story. My daughter, I've shared that she has Down syndrome. She's now 10. So last year at school, she was having a lot of behavior problems. And every day she'd get in the car, I'd say, "How was your day?" And she'd say something. Usually it was she had problems. But that day, that specific day, she said, "I'm bad." I was shocked. I was like, "You're what?" And she repeated it. And I was like, no. So I pulled over the car. I felt like this is so important that it is something I have to address right now. So I picked the kids up and I pulled over the car and I said, "We have to talk about this now. You are not bad." And I was so passionate about this. I was really upset. I was like, how did I miss this as a mom? How did I miss that she's starting to think that she's bad, not the behavior? So I right away, we talked about, you made poor choices today, but you are not bad. And so we have spent a lot of time focusing on that because she makes poor choices, as many of us do, but I want her to see that she is not bad. You made a poor choice today at school, but you are not bad. And this is very, very critical, and here's why. The research from Brené Brown says that people who deal with shame are more likely to have addictions, depression, suicidality, bullying, aggression, eating disorders. So it actually goes on, poor relationships. So guilt, though, is inversely correlated with that. So with shame, you are more likely to have eating disorders, addictions, depression, suicidality, all those things. With guilt, it's kind of a protective factor, and you are less likely to have that. So we want to have guilt. We want to have guilt when we do something wrong. We want to feel like, oh, I made a poor choice, and I want to change that. That is a protective factor from poor outcomes in our lives. Shame actually increases that. So the thing with shame, there's two big things with shame. Shame needs secrecy, silence, and judgment to create shame. So otherwise it'll be guilt. Because with guilt, I'm going to probably tell someone. I'm going to say, this is what I did and I feel really bad. I hurt someone's feelings and I didn't mean to. So with guilt, I'm likely to share it and talk about it, and people are going to be empathetic and be like, yeah, I've done something like that too. But with shame, we feel like since we're the problem, we keep it silent. So shame needs silence, secrecy, and judgment. And the judgment is we judge ourselves. I am bad. I deserve that. There was something wrong with me. And so therefore we continue to go down the spiral of it's me, not a poor choice I made. So shame is what we need to learn to let go of. Now here's the thing with shame is, how do I let go of it? Okay, so with shame, we have the same symptoms as with a trauma. So if I just got shamed, then I'm going to have a racing heart. Now everybody's different, and that's the thing is, but we all have the same kind of symptoms. Like a racing heart, feeling scared, feeling on edge, jumpy. So when we have a shame experience, we have the same visceral, meaning our body, we have the same visceral reaction as a trauma event. So that's something to keep in mind, is what does yours look like? When you get shamed, so for me, it's pit of the stomach. I feel sick in the pit of the stomach. I also have the racing heart. I just feel sick. So here's the thing, is when we get shamed, we have to learn to share that, because if we don't, then it eats at us. So for shame to not have power over us, we have to share it with people who are safe, who can give us empathy. Empathy combats shame. So if we have an experience of shame and we keep it silent, we keep it a secret, and we judge it, it's going to continue to eat at us. We can't let it go because we are holding on to it, because we have identified that I am the problem, I am bad. So to make it more effective, we need to have somebody who's safe, that we can share it with, that we can experience a shared human experience of we all make mistakes, and this person has done it too, and they can sit with us in it. Then it is more like guilt. And then guilt is effective. We can make changes. We don't see ourselves as the problem. And then there is also embarrassment. We all experience embarrassment. Embarrassment is kind of like, oh, I feel silly, I did that. But we can usually laugh at ourselves and joke and kind of know that other people have done it too. And so embarrassment is just kind of like, I feel really silly, but I know other people have done it too. So most of this work actually comes from Brene Brown. She's got some TED Talks on this stuff, and I've taken her a class of hers. She's got some great stuff on shame resilience. If anybody's interested in more of this stuff on shame and living with shame resilience, I am trying very hard to raise my children with shame resilience, meaning that you have the ability to bounce back. So we're all going to experience shame. It's what we do with it and how we bounce back. I hope this is helpful. Again, the four self-conscious emotions are guilt, shame, humiliation, and embarrassment. And the one that is the most dangerous is shame. We need to be really careful with shame, because shame means I did something that I am bad. With guilt is I did something bad. And shame can be very, very dangerous, because because I am bad, we end up turning to unhealthy ways of coping in life. So again, keep those in mind and think about what your shame experience looks like. Everybody's is different. And here's another thing with shame is what shames me might not shame you. So when I think, oh, this is shameful to me, then I won't do it to somebody else. That's not necessarily shameful to someone else. So we can't necessarily prevent shameful things from happening, but what we can do is make sure we teach people and ourselves how to handle shame when it does happen. So those are my thoughts on shame. You can ask me any questions, shoot me any feedback that you have. Again, I'm Diane with Powerful Coaching Questions. Thank you, and have a blessed day.